Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm currently here at Eastwood Mall for the VinFast Philippines display here. And finally, we are going to dive the all-new VinFast VF6. And I will cover both variants. On display is the Eco-based variant. And what we're going to dive below is the Plus top-of-the-line variant. And as well, special thanks to Sir Daryll of VinFast EDSA for making this review possible. Now, with this VF6, I already saw this first at the Manila International Auto Show. But for obvious reasons, I couldn't do a shoot of it because there was a lot of people. And fast forward to today, finally we can get our hands on this. Now, with this VF6, it kind of looks like a mini version of the VF7, which is still, to this day, my favorite of the lineup. And as you can see, it has the design cues of Pininfarina and Torino design, my favorite Italian designers. And you have a ground clearance of 170 millimeters, LED lights all around. And the only way you can tell from the exterior that this is the base model are these wheels. So you get silver alloy wheels for this Eco, and then for the Plus is the usual two-tone black and silver. Firing this VinFast VF6, so first with this Eco variant, this has a 59.6 kilowatt-hour battery that produces a total of 170 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. And as well, top speed of this is around 170 kilometers per hour, and you have a 0 to 100 kilometer per hour time of 10.5 seconds. Now we go downstairs to the VF6 Plus top-of-the-line model that has more power at 200 horsepower and 310 Newton meters of torque with an acceleration time of 8.8 seconds. Now for the ranges of both the variants, so this has a much higher range at 480 kilometers. Meanwhile, the Plus only gets 460, but still, at least they are not far off from each other. On the side profile, as you can see, this is kind of like a mix of the VF5 and the VF7, so it's just like a squeezed out version. And here at the rear, this is actually a very striking design. Again, almost similar like that of the VF7. God, I can't stop looking at this VF7 in my favorite color. Anyway, back to this. Of course, you get your VF6 logo and open the boot up. This has a manual tailgate. I don't mind whatsoever. So you have a total space here of 424 liters, which is actually a lot. Look. So perfect for camping tips if needed. And there's like provisions here for a tonneau cover, but I don't see anything whatsoever. And underneath, you get space here for a lot of tote bags and for your EWD devices. And I don't see a spare tire whatsoever. And of course, this will double once you fold all of the seats down at 1,576 liters. And here at the interior of this VinFast VF6, a scaled down version of the VF7, which I think is still a good thing. Here in the door card, despite being a base model, there's a lot of leather stuff. And it's a two-tone scheme too, gray and black. And very nice to the touch as well. And like most of the VinFast I've driven so far, you get this very small steering wheel, but I know this is like the squeegee material type, not the full-on leather, but again, still feels very, very premium to the touch. I like this. And usual stocks over here. And once you see up front, this has a very flat dashboard. And despite being a base model, you have a heads-up display. And that is because, like most of the VinFast models, everything is here in this 12.9-inch infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This being the base model, you have a reverse camera only, but hey, you have a very good resolution and some safety bits here like for collision avoidance, because if you go to the Plus top-of-the-line model, it's literally fully loaded. Your speedometer, gear selector, and for your driving modes too. And then swipe to the right. You have for your region levels, which we'll try later on during the test drive. And further down, you get two air conditioning vents and very Italian gear selectors, even for your electronic parking brake. This is one of the specialties of this VinFast models. Oh, I just saw now too, you get a net storage further down below. I think it's perfect for your phones. And then here in the center, you get two cup holders, your volume knob for locking the doors, and your hazard button. Center console box, you have two Type A USB ports, a 12-volt socket, and a very deep box itself. It's literally eating already half of my arm. And the glove box, okay, pretty decent amount of space. And the seats here, I was expecting this to be all cloth since this is a base model, but no, everything here is all leather and very comfortable to sit in. And above here, you have your SOS buttons, LED lights. Visor, you get a vanity mirror. Yep, very good on either side of the sun visor. Okay, very good quality. Actually, that's really good. Right. And finally, here at the rear of this VinFast VM6, here the door card. Oops, that's a hard door. Pretty much the same like the ones in front, and it at least still retains all of the leather soft pads, which is good. This is already my driving position. Look at that, that's very good amount of space. So it's kind of like a smaller version again of that of the VF7, but still, despite being a subcompact crossover, yeah, you have a tremendous amount of space. And you have map pockets on either side, and here in the middle, you only have an air conditioning vent. And central armrest, you have, where the, oh, there you go. Two pop-out cup holders, how about that? So, you only can see that in some of the luxury brands out there. This is a very nice touch by VinFast. And if I sit here in the middle, there's just like a wheel of a transmission tunnel. Just literally put your feet wherever you want, and it's still comfortable nevertheless. Right, first drive now. Remember, we are in the Plus brand, so there's a lot more changes now compared with the base model, because you have a lot more driving aids. So this has even full ADAS functions, and as you can see here with the layout of the steering wheel itself too. And here's the heads-up display in action. So this is kind of like a sensor too if you're leaving the lane or there's a car nearby. And like all the VinFast, this has a very, very, very light steering feel. But I think that's a good thing, because if this is going to be your first ever electric vehicle, yeah, it's going to be very easy to drive. And here, going out of the car park, so since we're already here, want to test literally everything out. So at incline, and then floor it. So there's kind of like a creep mode with this VF6, which is again another nice plus for what this is. Starting off at eco mode, there's a lot of delay at the throttle, but again, that is a good thing because that tends to save a lot of energy, assume. So here now, let's try normal mode, and then I guess floor it a bit. Okay, right, so remember, this is the Plus model with 200 horsepower and 310 Newton meters on the top, and the sub 9 second 0 to 100 kilometer per hour time. Yeah, it is really peppy. And if you're just driving this at a calm pace, example here around in Eastwood Mall, yes, just like with every other EV. And what I like with this VF6, well, actually all of the VinFast models, it's very easy and very quiet in here in the cabin itself. And it's, again, with this very light steering wheel, it's very easy to drive even for first timers. And surprisingly too, even though this thing is really, really light, the ratio is actually pretty quick. So if you're going to drive this spiritedly, I think this is going to be a very fun EV to drive as well. And okay, so just flicked it to a sport mode now. Of course, everything now is much more responsive, and just try to floor it here a bit. Yep, it is very quick. Now let's do that swipe thing now. And okay, regen is set what is this, to high. So there's 3 levels. So we have, again, low, mid, and high. So let's try the high and put off the brake. Okay, it slows down gradually, but it's not the type of regen that's literally in your face, that it's kind of like wanting to brake itself. Here, look at this. And it's slowing down, and literally perfect at the stoplight itself. And then, okay, yep, yeah, this thing flies. So not to my surprise, like with all of the VinFast models, this VF6 is surprisingly very fun to drive. And remember, this is much lighter and smaller than that of the VF7. So this kind of feels like a pocket rocket, a subcompact crossover SUV, which I actually enjoy. The entire VinFast VF6 lineup is pretty great value too. So starting off with the Eco, so that stands at 1,419,000 pesos, and it tops up with this big body Plus model at 1,610,000 pesos. That is actually really good. And of course, knowing me, if you have a little bit more, I get the VF7. I'm very sorry, I'm very biased with that vehicle. But this VF6 is a very good shout. Again, I'd like to thank everyone here at VinFast Philippines here at Eastwood Mall. One more time. Oh my gosh. And as well, special thanks to assisted me here, to Sir Daryll and to Sir Silo for assisting me here in this test drive event. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and we will see you hopefully soon with more VinFast reviews. Bye-bye.